Hi there guys, it's Rick here. Hope you're all doing extremely well out there. I know I am. Well, I'm pretty knackered at the moment, but aside from that, I'm doing rather spiffingly indeed. So today we're going to take a look at building speed. So I'm going to talk to you about, give you some hints and tips and talk to you about the way that I approach building speed on the guitar. Before we get into that though, just a quick reminder, it's still 30% off all downloads from my website using the code RGSAVE30. Great way to support what I do. Also, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight to it. I hope you enjoyed that little video as I did at the start of this video, because that's going to be pretty much the subject of what we're going to talk about. However, we're not going to do what I did, which is you know, speed bursts across 6 strings. We're just going to limit it to just a pair of strings so that you can, it basically condenses the movement, which is the problem area for most guitar players, is negotiating your way from one string to the next. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at, okay? So we're going to break it down. To start with, we're just going to take 2 notes here. So we're going to take fret 12 of the B, fret 14 of the top E. Okay. So whenever we play scales, whenever we cross strings, we usually do it in one of 3 ways. If you're an alternate picker, you'll do it in one of 2 ways. That is using inside and outside movement with a pick. But I'm going to include economic movement for those that do economy picking, which I do an awful lot. But I want to concentrate on those 3 movements when negotiating your way from one string to the next. Okay, so let's start with number 1, outside movement. What exactly is that? So if we take these notes, if I start with a downstroke and then follow it with an upstroke on the B, so down, up, down, up. The pick is travelling outside of those 2 strings, the B and the E, okay? Okay, so that's outside movement. Inside, we start with an upstroke, which means the pick is travelling when we negotiate our way from the B string to the top E. We're doing an upstroke to a downstroke, so the pick is moving inside the 2 strings. Okay, so the third is economic movement, so economy picking basically, where we go to the next string with the same stroke, down, 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 down. Self-explanatory this. The pick moves from the shortest distance possible from one string to the next, hence the term economy picking. Okay, so those are the 3 movements we're going to be dealing with. Okay, so let's start with, I'll give you a few tips in terms of what I practice. I generally use this to kind of warm my way into playing. Okay, so let's start with outside picking. So just doing this on its own is great practice. Like I said before, we're condensing everything down to just the problem area, which is the string cross. Okay, with the outside movement, and then we can do the same obviously with the inside movement. Okay, now what I like to do is do dotted rhythms like this. Okay, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Okay, so we're building the speed with the string cross, not necessarily the notes that we play on any given string. It's the speed with which we cross the string, because that how fast we can negotiate that string cross really determines how fast we can play the scales. Okay, and we really want to control that movement as much as we possibly can. So doing dotted rhythms is great for that, for practicing that. Okay, inside, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Sorry, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Okay, so you get the idea. With the economy picking, it'll be down, down, up, up. The other thing that I want to point out, this is something that most guitarists are guilty of, is when we're working on ideas like this, especially with a picking hand, guitarists are guilty of looking anywhere but where they should be looking, which is what is going on with the right hand. So it's essential to have that visual reference whenever you're working on your picking, because it's very easy to start doing things in a completely different way, or picking in a different way without you realizing it. So always train yourself to have that visual reference by looking at what you're doing at all times when you're practicing these ideas. Okay, just taking that a step further, we could do 3 notes, down, up, down, in quick succession. And then the inside movement. Okay, so those are some of the ways that we can work on negotiating that. Once we've done that, we can take a simple pattern like this. So 12, 13, 15, then the top E. So we play do the same with inside. That was outside. Down, up, down, up. And concentrate on that string cross. It's a good idea to play this part slowly and then speed up the string cross. Down, up. Or conversely, up, down, down. Sorry. So we're playing the string cross with speed, okay? So it really helps to do that. And like I said before, you want to try and avoid wherever possible, if you're not used to doing this, playing 6-note per string scales and hoping that it will work, because you will waste an inordinate amount of time doing it and making mistakes. So just going straight to the jugular here and dealing with it right to the heart of the problem will get you much, well, it's certainly got me better results quicker. So and then you can build a pattern, because there comes a point where we do want to play the entire scale, of course, but to start with, it's a good idea to work on these things individually. Then it'll give you a fresher approach to playing the entire scale. Okay, so those are the things that I would work on, especially the dotted rhythms. That's a great thing. The other thing, especially with doing this kind of thing, I use a technique it's a practice technique called planting technique, where we place the pick on the string in preparation to play. It's a great way of training the right hand to make the minimum movement required. And this works for any of those 3 transitions when we're crossing from string to string. So inside, outside, economic movement. It works. I mean, economy picking is exactly that, right? When we do a downstroke, the pick rests on the adjacent string. So it is planting technique. The other thing that I like to do is play 4 repetitions of outside and then switch to 4 of inside. Keep nice and relaxed when you're doing this, and try and make it sound like you can't hear the difference between changes. So those are some of the things that I like to use in order to practice building speed with scales. So like I said before, incorporate this into your practice routine, but certainly don't shy away from trying to play scales fast. We've got to attempt doing it up to speed, but one thing that you shouldn't do is if you're finding yourself hitting a brick wall every time and messing it up every time, it's really not a good idea to continue that. Come back to these kind of ideas, take it steady, build that control, and then go back to it. Anyway, I think this is the end of the lesson. I hope you've enjoyed what I've talked about, and more importantly, I hope it really helps you with your playing. I'm going to be discussing more approaches to building speed on the guitar, because this is just one approach, you know, and like I said before, this is what I do. Players approach it in lots of different ways, so this is just one way of approaching it out of many different ways. So anyway, like I said before, I hope you get a lot out of this lesson, and stay tuned for the next one coming soon. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.